TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donation. Shalom ve'erev tov, good evening. Welcome to our daily TV7 Israel News Bulletin, broadcast from Jerusalem. President Donald Trump asserts he will not accept any deal with Iran other than unconditional surrender. Chief of General Staff of the IDF, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, orders the IDF to forcibly disarm Hezbollah. And the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps loses over 60% of its launcher's capability, capable of firing ballistic missiles at Israel. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps has lost over 60% of its ballistic missile launchers, which significantly impairs its capacity to confront Israel, Europe, and other neighboring countries. In his first address to the nation, since the United States and Israel launched Operation Roaring Lion, or Epic Fury, against the terrorist Ayatollah regime in Iran, IDF Chief of General Staff, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, expressed his deep satisfaction in the great and historically unprecedented success of both the IDF and U.S. Central Command. General Zamir continued by highlighting that over 60% of Iran's ballistic missile capabilities have significantly diminished the Ayatollah regime's ability to wage war.
We have neutralized and destroyed over 60% of the ballistic missile launchers, a very significant achievement that reduces the damage to the home front and saves many lives. This is an ongoing effort, but, I emphasize, the threat has not yet been removed. Every missile is deadly and poses a danger.
General Zamir further stressed that the IDF and U.S. Central Command have, quote, surprises prepared for the Ayatollah regime, while also emphasizing that unique partnership that is in full display between the United States and Israel.
After completing the phase of the surprising opening strike, in which we created air superiority and suppressed the ballistic missile array, we are now moving to the next phase of the campaign, in which we will increase the damage to the foundations of the regime and its military capabilities. We have additional surprising moves, which I do not intend to reveal. We will pursue our enemy, all of them, and we will outpace them. I am in constant contact with my American counterparts, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States Army, General Dan Kane, and the commander of CENTCOM, Admiral Brad Cooper. We are fighting out of shared interests and values, waging war shoulder to shoulder. They are true friends. In a synchronized action, we are stripping the regime of its military capabilities and bringing them to a point of strategic isolation and weakness that they have never been in. I tell you, this is historic cooperation. Admiral Cooper said, the United States Army and the IDF, the two most powerful armies in the world, control the skies of the world's largest terrorist state.
General Zamir went on to address the dire miscalculation made by the Lebanese Iranian proxy Hezbollah.
Hezbollah made a strategic mistake, and contrary to the interests of the citizens of Lebanon, chose to join the campaign, and it is paying a heavy price for this. We are attacking with force, on the front and deep inside Lebanon. I ordered IDF forces to move forward and deepen the line of control on the border while positioning themselves at key points in southern Lebanon.
After the terror group Hezbollah launched a barrage of rockets towards the state of Israel, hoping to have a lax response by the IDF, General Eyal Zamir asserted in unequivocal terms, the IDF will not relent until the terror group Hezbollah is disarmed. It is worth noting that France has called upon Israel to avoid launching a ground invasion into Lebanon, irrespective of operational necessities, to achieve Jerusalem's goals of disarming Hezbollah, that after the terror group had fired at Israel after over a year and 4 months in which the Lebanese government had failed to fulfill its obligation of dismantling the Iranian proxy's military arms.
The first thing, obviously, and the president has done this at his level, and I have done it at mine, is to call on the Israeli authorities to refrain from any form of ground incursion into Lebanon, to refrain from targeting port and airport infrastructure, and also civilians.
It is important to know that the IDF has already deployed a couple of divisions along its northern front, and a military maneuver aimed at controlling all strategic locations south of the Litani River have been set in motion. In tandem, U.S. Central Command has reportedly established a forward command and control within the IDF's Northern Command to coordinate operational activities against the Iranian proxy Hezbollah. U.S. Central Command reportedly joining the fight against the terror group, which is responsible for deaths of hundreds of U.S. service members over the years, evidently aims at relieving some of Israel's aerial assets, which are needed for the prioritized campaign against the Ayatollah regime in Iran. Earlier in Washington, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth held a joint press conference with CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper, during the course of which he emphasized America's long fortitude in prosecuting Operation Epic Fury.
Iran is hoping that we cannot sustain this, which is a really bad miscalculation for the IRGC in Iran. You see, there's no shortage of American will here. We remember and honor our fallen, those 6 that we will soon welcome at Dover, who gave everything for their country in this mission. We remember them. But we remember them by rededicating ourselves even more fervently to this mission. Our commitment to our mission objectives only increases as our advantages continue to increase. We've got no shortage of munitions. Our stockpiles of defensive and offensive weapons allow us to sustain this campaign as long as we need to. Again, our munition status only increases as our advantage increases. Our capabilities, we have only just begun to fight, and fight decisively. Having a chance to hear from Admiral Cooper. If you think you've seen something, just wait. The amount of combat power that's still flowing, that's still coming, that we'll be able to project over Iran is a multiples of what it currently is right now when you add up our capabilities and those of the Israeli Defense Forces. And we have no shortage of authorities. The Admiral knows we have clear objectives with maximum authorities on the battlefield. The dumb, politically correct wars of the past were the opposite of what we're doing here. They had vague objectives with restrictive, minimalist rules of engagement. No more. Our authorities, his authorities, CENTCOM's authorities through the President and myself are maxed out.
Admiral Cooper, for his part, highlighted the undeniable success of the campaign thus far, as the IRGC has effectively lost much of its capacity to wage war.
In just the last 72 hours, America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside of Iran, including around Tehran. And in just the last hour, U.S. B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers. Notably, we have also struck Iran's equivalent of Space Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans. Then, if I just look back over the last 24 hours of the operation compared to where we were at its start, ballistic missile attacks have decreased by 90% since day one. Drone attacks have decreased by 83% since day one. Having said this, we remain vigilant. Our strikes against the Iranian Navy have intensified. You may have heard the President say just a little while ago that we have sunk or destroyed 24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire.
U.S. President Donald Trump released a statement in which he dispelled any speculation on his end goal vis-a-vis the Islamic Republic of Iran, quote, "There will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender." After that and the selection of a great and acceptable leader, he continued, "We and many of our wonderful and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Iran will have a great future." Meanwhile, while visiting U.S. and Israeli pilots at an Israeli Air Force base in southern Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised the historic collaboration between Washington and Jerusalem.
אני פה בבסיס חיל האוויר בדרום הארץ.
On the sixth day of Operation Roaring Lion, I am here at an Air Force base in southern Israel with the wonderful pilots of ours and of the United States, and the dedicated ground crews. The cooperation is historic between the U.S. military and the IDF, and between the Israeli Air Force and the U.S. Air Force. We continue to strike targets of the terror regime in Iran, along with terrorist elements in Lebanon. The achievements are great, but much work lies ahead. I would like to again thank my friend President Trump for the cooperation between us, and between Israel and the United States. Together we will move forward, and together we will achieve our goals, with God's help.
בעזרת השם.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News, which is made possible by the generosity of our viewers. If you would like to help support TV7 Israel, which exclusively operates based on donations from our viewers, and as we aim to update you on the latest and decipher the most complex issues related to Israel, the Middle East, and beyond, you can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Please keep praying for the Israeli, American, and allied service members currently confronting threats emanating out of Iran, Lebanon, and elsewhere. Pray also for the peace of Jerusalem and redemption of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach, and God willing, until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.